Hey, it's Chris Sinzak from the Decibel Geek podcast, and you are digging deep with the InObscuria guys.
InObscuria!
Welcome back, my friends, to the InObscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. I'm Kevin Williams. That's Robert Harrison.
Where?
And laying on the floor, you're right there.
Oh, yeah.
Laying on the floor, Ronnie James, D.O.G.
He's got his back to us. He's in protection mode.
He is.
He's got the perimeter.
He was just talking to me.
Yeah, but when he gets into business mode, he likes to face away, and that's not an insult. He's got the perimeter. He's watching for attackers.
Good.
Yeah, in case they try to.
You never know.
Like ninjas.
Podcasters like us.
Yeah.
People are out for us all
Ninjas
the
are
time.
after us all the time. So
Yeah.
he's doing a good job there.
Awesome.
There you were all quiet. What are you doing?
Ronnie James D.O.G.
We had a certain friend stop by
VIP
yesterday.
guest.
Yes.
At the firehouse. Yeah, it was a good time. Our friend who just did the announcement, Chris and his brother.
Yep. Chris and Eric Sinzak, the Sinzak brothers.
Sinzak brothers, yes.
Stopped by last night. We had some drinks and dinner and gave them the tour of everything that is Robert.
Most everything.
Oh, behave!
Right. That's right. You left a few things out.
Save a little bit for
Right.
the next trip through.
Yes. So they hung out with us here at the firehouse for a while. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was good to catch up. I hadn't seen him since Rockin' Pod.
Rockin' Pod.
Was it 2 years ago?
Year
and change. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there'll be another one at some point.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we're waiting to hear, and if not, we'll have Rockin' Fire.
Oh, I like that.
Rockin' Fire here at the firehouse.
We'll have to co-host that with Cobras and Fire, though, because we can't take that.
That's true. We need extra.
Baco and LC, you'll have to pony up some dollars.
It's true. It's not just your name. You
That's
don't
right.
You don't get to skate with just your reputation.
Yeah.
No, you got to write a check. We could do that. We've got room. It wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like Rockin' Pod where we had lots of famous people to interview. It'd be basically just the podcasters talking to each other, which we have a lot of fun with that anyway. But we could get
that's the reason I go.
6 or 7 podcasts to come down and hang out here. We've got plenty of room. We could open up the church next door and take over that space too.
That's right.
I think it'd be fun.
Preach the gospel of podcasting.
Yeah. Amen.
Amen.
Jalapeno.
Oh, what's going on with you? Anything else the people need to know? Any updates?
It's the quiet season here. Usually July and August are pretty dull. I had a wedding this past Saturday.
Again?
Yeah.
Married again?
Yeah. Not
Wow.
mine. Not mine. It would have been much bigger and more fire. But they didn't have a formal reception, so the food leftovers were not as usual. Usually my fridge is packed with leftovers, but this time they had one of my dining room tables. I have like 3 different tables in the dining room. It's that big. And they filled a 6-foot-long table with charcuterie. And so the wedding party ate about 10% of it and then left. And so it's me.
So you did get that?
Yeah, me and the wedding staff are standing there going, well, let's get the Tupperware. And you start dividing up all the meat and cheeses and fruits and all kinds of who knows what, crackers. So yeah, that's what I've been eating. Today I finished off the last of it.
The hors d'oeuvres,
yeah,
man.
5 days later, I've done eating charcuterie for meals.
Wow. Now, you mentioned the tables upstairs. You happened to drop a little comment last night that I thought was kind of interesting. You said that the tables were made so that you could dance on them.
Yes, that was part of the design criteria when I built them. This started back when you were my neighbor 20-something years ago. I had a glass coffee table in my 20s. That's a bad idea.
A really bad idea.
Really dumb. It was free. But still, you should never have a glass coffee table when you're in your 20s and you like to throw parties. So that lasted about a year and somebody broke it. And when I built a new coffee table, I'm like, damn it, I'm going to make one strong enough to dance on. And it works. And ever since then, tables...
That's the metal one that's still
The
upstairs,
metal one
right?
is still... Oh, yeah, it's fine. And so ever since then, everything I build is like a table or something like that. For whatever reason, I make sure that it's capable of being danced on. So the bar upstairs, most people have like a countertop for a bar. Mine's extra reinforced, and I have proven you can dance on that bar. So
Well,
yeah,
you haven't proven.
I have proven.
Oh, you have proven.
I have proven, yes.
Okay.
I'll buck 40 6 pounds of me on it. So yeah,
Okay.
it qualifies as danceable. So to my dining room tables, they're danceable. So the bonus is, in case of a tornado, they double as tornado shelter. But for parties, if people want to get up and dance on the tables, I don't worry anymore.
So you got a little bit of Grancer in you.
Yeah, a little bit of Grancer. Yeah. Grancer the dancer, yes. That is for those of you who don't know, that is my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, who was a famous fiddle player and loved to throw parties and dance and have a good time. And his parties would last all day, and they would have horse races, they'd barbecue a pig, and just have a grand old time. And then he became a ghost when he died.
Now he's a famous ghost.
One of the 10 famous ghosts of Alabama. And his cemetery is really cool. Your former bandmate Elizabeth wrote a song about him. He was so famous, and they did a video on his tomb.
Which the family loved.
No, some of the family did. My father did not. He was not happy with that in the slightest. So that was bone of contention for a little bit. But yeah, that runs deep in my family. Wanting to throw parties and have a good time.
Dancing standard
That's
started
right,
with
absolutely.
Grancer.
Yeah, so my furniture for the most part is danceable.
Now, I remember when you had your townhome, when we lived next door to each other,
Yeah.
and you redid the bar there. I think we made it, I remember helping you, and I
Yeah.
think we made it super stable
It
as
was
well.
6 inches thick.
Yes.
It wasn't just a countertop.
Yeah.
The bar was 6 inches thick. Because I
remember this very well.
So that it goes way back. This whole idea of making things strong enough that you can dance on.
Yeah.
You never know. Hot women just sometimes they want to dance, and I don't want to preclude them from doing that. I want to enable them.
I see.
Yes, let me
I see.
give you more areas to dance on, elevated, so it's easier to observe you dancing. Yes.
Now, does that feed in today's theme? Not at all.
Not at all,
No,
okay.
I can't draw any comparison.
Danceable hits from the 90s.
There. No, we're not doing hair
Not a
metal.
lot of
so
good-
I can't bring that in.
Not a lot of good dance grunge out there.
And you knew the dancer at one point from a Rat video.
Yes, sadly she has moved on to
Passed on.
the great video in the sky. She was the one in the glass box getting soapy and sudsy and Loving You's a Dirty Job, and I'm the one to do it. What's the actual title?
Loving You's a Dirty Job, I believe.
It's
that's
okay.
name
It's
of
the whole
song.
thing. I didn't know if they had shortened it, but yeah. So she was in that video. So yeah, I had friends like that. So you wanted to make sure that you were ready to go.
Okay, yeah, again, I can't tie that into today's theme, so if you can't tie anything into today's theme, then just go ahead and listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Grown Up Rock, Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, A to Z Radio, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Disciples of the Watch, Podcast Rock City. Joe Polo, you were supposed to be here last night. We understand.
Lame.
It's fine. It's fine.
Lame.
State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, Shout It Out Loudcast, The Kiss Room, Ages of Rock, and Don't forget about Monty.
Hey, this is Monty Colvin from Galactic Cowboys and Monty's Rockcast, and you are listening to the amazing InObscuria podcast. Rock on!
Monty's Rockcast. Update on Galactic Cowboys any day now. They're waiting for the vinyl. Any day now they're going to release this new album.
Do you have his number programmed so you don't actually send it to voicemail when he calls you?
Well, so Monty's Rockcast that just came out, I think a couple of days ago, as of this recording, he said, hey, if you have a podcast, he said this on the podcast, if you have a podcast, we would all love to talk to you. So
Stand by.
we'll see what we can do.
All right, so our staff will contact him.
Exactly.
Put a date on the calendar.
Let's do lunch,
We're
Monty.
busy, so we got to pencil them in maybe August or September.
That's right. So look for perhaps maybe something with Galactic Cowboys in our future.
Sweet.
Did you know, Robert, I think you did because you came up with this, that we're powered by the Boneless Podcasting Network.
Powered by
Powered by. We need some kind of...
Sounder. That's what
Yeah.
they call it, a sounder.
That's what we need, and we need a sounder. I just did it.
I'll get
really.
to work on it. You did. Just isolate that.
Now, we suggest you go listen to these boneless podcasts. Sean Geek and Fast Fret podcast, and The Podcast Will Rock, Regarding the Elder, Rush Rash, The Trailer Behind the Metal Shop, Maiden A to Z, Rock Court, Tone Chasers and String Benders, The Bad Penny Podcast, Mixtapes from Hell, and so many more. They have so many more. 30-plus podcasts on the boneless podcast.
Non-boner.
Let me try that again.
Non-boner.
The non-bona fide No.
We are bona fide.
We are bona fide. The Boneless Podcasting Network. BonelessPodcasting.com.
We had to pay extra to be bona fide.
That's right.
It says boneless,
Bona fide, boneless.
but it's like $20 a month to be bona fide.
Boner-fide.
That costs you a lot more.
That's what happens when you have dancers on the table. You get boner-fide.
Swing.
Come visit us, InObscuria.com. Like us, share us, Facebook, X, Instagram. Okay, now, the reason I couldn't tie in what we were talking about earlier to this is because this past weekend, I felt like listening to some classic albums that got me into music to begin with.
Oh, Fleetwood Mac?
Is it not Fleetwood Mac?
If I had a rubber hose, I would beat you in.
Never a fan of Fleetwood Mac, actually.
Eagles?
We can put them in with the Eagles. Do not own Fleetwood Mac. Do not own, well, actually, I do own the Eagles.
I'll look at
Hotel
videos of 70s Fleetwood Mac when they're all coked up, like really coked up, and Stevie Nicks is like 18, 19 maybe. Yeah. Then once it gets into the 80s and 90s, and like, okay, whatever.
That's when they were bona fide.
Yeah, they were just washed up at that point.
So one album in particular that provided my adolescent self with all of the fuel, the fire, everything that I desired, and set me on the path of heavy.
Just plagiarize.
No,
Headfield.
No, I wouldn't have done that. There's no way. There's no way.
Fuel,
This album-
fire, that what I desire.
Well, maybe that's why I listened to Master of Puppets. Oh, man. I put in some Metallica this weekend. Nobody was home, and I turned it up. I've never actually played the vinyl. I've owned it for like 5 years. I've never actually played it, and I put it on, and it sounded so good. The depth of the bass coming out of those speakers.
Wait, that one has bass?
That one has bass, yeah. That's when Cliff Burton was still alive.
After that, they
After that, they just said, fuck you, Jason. We're
really-
hiring you, but fuck you.
God, they did.
We don't give you any bass.
Dicks, man.
Oh, well.
It really took away some of my admiration for those guys. Hearing all the stories about.
Well, we're going to talk about some other things, perhaps.
Okay.
That makes it tough to be a Metallica fan sometimes. But Metallica was the beginning for me as far as heavy, like really heavy. I was into punk.
He crossed the line.
And then it went heavy once I listened to Master of Puppets. So I thought, how many bands and artists and just people out there have been inspired by Metallica? They are icons. They are on a pedestal above most bands. So how many bands have they inspired? And how many bands perhaps lend their sound a lot to Metallica? So that's what I thought we would do today.
Okay.
Episode 345, In the Shadow of Metallica.
This is going to be a tough one.
It's a high bar.
I'm getting my judging ready.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Now, it's been a while since we've done one of these episodes. The last one we did was a Motorhead episode at the end of last year. And so just to remind you, in this series, we explore bands and artists that have similar vibes. They share the same sort of sonic landscape or soundscape, I guess makes more sense. Or perhaps their songwriting, their playing styles are similar to the band that has inspired them. And this is not us saying that these bands are trying to be copycats or that, that they're trying to plagiarize, to your point, what you said earlier, trying to plagiarize Metallica. No, it's just that they have a shared sound, perhaps a shared vision of where their music goes based on Metallica. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and nothing in rock and roll is completely original. Everything borrows and takes and steals from everything else. So why not cop some of those awesome Metallica feels? It's done pretty well for them. So before we begin, we do need to get the blessings from the Ministry of Diabolica. What do you think Mighty K has to say about Metallica?
I am Captain
Anton.
and this is my faithful companion.
Mighty K.
Say hello.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Get the frick on. You can do it. Sorry. I am getting pissed by everybody else's driving techniques.
Oh, really?
That's the first.
And just wanted to say that, it's not only too hot for penicillin, but Robert, it's also too hot for dumb people to drive like big dummies. This one's not your average show. Now I'm wondering if you're gonna be playing the new oh my god, my memory, Judas Priest.
No, we're playing Metallica.
Regardless,
Same thing.
I'm gonna tell you, I love this episode. It's oddly enough my favorite. I don't have a favorite song. All of the songs.
It's my favorite.
Punched
I don't have a
my
favorite.
button.
Hello.
I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, it punched my button. They punched my button. And anyway, yeah, really great episode. So it's doable for me. And there you go. This is a minute, almost 2 minutes for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, wrap it
Bye,
up.
guys.
Minute 30, but that's all right.
Who's counting?
Yeah.
Nobody's counting.
Oh, well, she's on board. We're good.
All right.
We can continue. We can move forward without the fear of being struck down in the street.
We're indoors, so it shouldn't be too bad.
I don't think it matters with her.
That's true. She gets a running start.
Exactly. So, Metallica, a band that, again, is so famous that some people hate them because of it.
Right. Anytime you reach a certain point, you're going to get haters.
Now, the band, I'll just give a little bit of my background and then we'll get yours if that's all right. So, we've talked about Metallica before. We've done an episode dedicated to Metallica that was basically all of the bands that they helped
Spawn.
Not spawn, but bring into people's
Breed.
consciousness because of their covers that they do. So we did an episode a long time ago. I think it was episode 52 where it was we played Diamond Head and all those bands that Metallica covered.
Rejuvenated those
Right.
bands.
That would have never, even the Misfits, they never would have gotten where they
Right.
are today without Metallica.
And T-shirt sales.
Exactly, everything. So they first came on to my radar when Brandon Still, our friend who's been on the show before, he brought their brand new tape with him on a Boy Scout camping trip, which we were headed to in Charleston, South Carolina, where we spent the weekend sleeping on the USS Yorktown, which was very cool. This was 1986, and that's probably the coolest thing I ever did in Boy Scouts. Wasn't any camping trip. It was sleeping on the USS
You were 13
Yorktown.
that year?
Oh, yeah.
86?
Yeah.
That at 13 years old, sleeping on an aircraft carrier.
It was so cool. And we, of course, we snuck out, and the bunks were chained, and they're stacked 5 high. So trying to sneak out at night was very noisy, but we did it.
Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon
Sorry.
me. Excuse me.
Is that your
excuse
face?
me,
I'm
pardon
sorry.
me. Ow.
Yeah, we snuck out and went into areas of the Yorktown that were closed with just our flashlights.
Loaded
Fucking
it.
creepy, man. It was so cool.
Loaded a few shells, fired off a couple of rounds.
Tried to launch a plane off the deck. No, it didn't happen. It was so much fun. But anyway, on that trip, on the way there, it was about a 3-4 hour drive, and Brandon had Master of Puppets and he had Kill 'Em All. And he had just gotten them. I think it was around his birthday, so it was around November. And I remember that was the skateboarding years. So we were only into skateboarding and punk music. And it was hardcore punk, right? And so he was calling Metallica hardcore at that point. We were not referring to them as metal because that wasn't in our vernacular at that point. But of course, I listened to it. He let me listen to it on the Walkman on the way there. I'm like, this is really cool. I don't know what this is. This doesn't sound like punk rock to me. And it's not. But again, we were stupid because we were kids. We didn't know any better. And he called it hardcore. I was like, okay, wow, this is
pretty hardcore.
This is some of the best hardcore I've ever heard.
Pretty accurate description. It was hardcore.
Yeah, but it was not Black Flag.
No, it wasn't hardcore punk. It was just hardcore.
You know, when you listen back to Master of Puppets and those first 3 albums, there is a lot of punk rock mixed in because they were the pioneers of thrash, and that's what they were doing. Is they were pulling in punk, they were pulling in metal, all the new wave of British heavy metal, which was also influenced by English punk. So there was a lot in there. It was kind of that crossover but not crossover thing. So anyway, it struck a nerve with me, and by Christmas of that year, I believe that was in November, by Christmas of that year, I had Master of Puppets on tape. A friend of mine called me from the record store and said, hey, I'm going to get you a Christmas present. What do you want? I'm like, Master of Puppets. And so I got that. And then on that break, before I even went back to school, I went to the record store and I bought Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, their entire discography. I got the entire discography over that Christmas break. And for a long time, those were my skateboard tapes for like the next 2 months.
Rotation.
Yeah. But that then turned me on to other bands other than punk. So from there, Metallica steered me towards Metal Church and Megadeth and Suicidal Tendency. So that same school year, I was jamming out to all this music that, at the time I was calling hardcore, but it was metal. I don't know why we had to be stuck in, you had to call something a certain thing for it to be cool, but that's what we did.
That's the American way. That's
I guess
what we
so.
do.
We had to put things
Fashion,
in boxes,
music, people,
even though it was wrong.
Yeah, it's just part of life.
But it steered me towards metal, and that's where I got my appreciation for music. Really, Metallica was probably my first band that I absolutely loved and had multiple albums. Any of these other bands, I only had one tape, but I had 3 of Metallica's. So They were also my second concert. My very first concert was a Van Halen of the 812 tour, and we had to go with Connor's uncle. He took us. He was cool, dude.
The cool uncle.
He was the cool uncle.
That's what I was.
But we weren't
uncle.
we weren't yet old enough in 1989 at that point in time, or 88, whenever it was, to go to a concert by ourselves. So my first concert was Van Halen. My second concert was Metallica with Queensryche opening. This was the Justice tour, and so you have Jason there now, and this was the first concert also that I went to just with my buddies. So it was everybody in my band at the time. So it was Brandon and Connor. So all the frontmen were there present for Metallica. We should have opened that show, but they gave it to Queensryche for some reason. So anyway, what an amazing concert to see Metallica and Justice for All. At the end, I remember the whole truss drops as part of the stage show, but like a big explosion, the truss drops and the big Justice statue starts to crumble. It was just, for a 13, 14-year-old kid, that was amazing. It set the bar very high for concerts after that. And then I have just stuck with Metallica. I know there are some people who only like Metallica up to or just beyond the Black Album.
It's a dividing line for a lot of people.
Yeah, and the Black Album is a big divider. But I've stuck with them through all of the things that they've done. And they've definitely had some weird ventures, but they've always come back to kind of their base. And I think their last couple of albums have been back to the Metallica that I love. Even though when you're as big as they are, as rich as they are, it's hard to put that same kind of street vibe into their music that they once did, because it's just not there anymore.
No.
They're older. But I've seen them live 5 times, including seeing them at Woodstock 99, which was unbelievable.
Mass pandemonium.
Yeah, and fueled by Metallica at some point.
Mud, beer, and good music.
Yeah, it was great. So, your history with Metallica?
I was much later adopter. I was going through my musical renaissance. I just got to college, had all the free time in the world to listen to music, and started really paying attention to music. And I found a record store that was selling records for $1.99 each.
So this is like 80.
Oh, I'm sorry.
88,
this
89?
is 88.
Yeah.
So that began, just diving into classic rock. Jimi Hendrix, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, all that, buying all the albums and listening to those. And shortly after that, late night somewhere, don't remember where, maybe in the dorm room or somebody's dorm room, it was Headbangers Ball, and saw the video for One. Mm-hmm. And I'd heard of Metallica. I'd seen the t-shirts. I knew this band Metallica existed, and maybe have heard a song, but I didn't really pay attention to it, but saw the video and was just drawn in, like, oh my God, what is this?
One was huge for a lot of people back then, and we'll talk about why.
Very intense video, the visuals of that, the subject matter, everything, and the music, very intense. And I saw that, so I was just on the lookout for that. If I ever saw the video come on, it was a special time. That and Ace of Spades, same thing. Those two videos, like, oh, look at this, because
were they back to back
for different reasons? Completely. Ace of Spades was just raw stage footage. It was just these guys looked really cool, but they weren't glam. So watching the video,
no, they were not.
No, like the opposite of everything else. So probably around the same time, some friends of mine lived in a different dorm, and I went over and walked in, and they were both playing guitar. And they were playing a Metallica song. And I can't remember what it was now, but they were doing the guitar harmonies. And so the song was playing, but they were playing along to it note for note. And I knew they both played guitar. I had no idea they were that good. Like, they had been really practicing. And so I just watched them playing it. That's when I picked up the guitar. For the first, not the first semester, but the second semester, I signed up for a guitar intro to guitar.
Because I remember this vividly when I was in college. People would just leave their dorm rooms open. Mm-hmm. And if they were playing guitar or something, you could just walk down the hall and hear, and then you kind of go down like, okay, who's playing? And you just look in the room.
Sometimes they would
hang out.
They would stop and go, hey, how's it going? Sometimes they would just keep playing.
Yeah.
And you would just stand there. And if they had the door open, it was kind of common knowledge that, I don't mind you, talking or hanging out. Yeah, just come on in. And so, I had that experience a couple of years later, the first time that I realized I could sing. I knew I could sing, kind of, but to the point where people would listen. I was in one of those rooms. My friend was in the room. He started playing Pearl Jam, Daughter. Mm-hmm. And I'd heard that song on the radio, and I would jokingly sing like Eddie Vedder. Yeah, so I was kind of like spoofing his voice. So I started singing the song in that spoofy voice, And within 15, 20 seconds, I kind of stopped singing and to make fun and just started singing. And everybody kind of stopped, and I just kept going, and I sang the song, and everybody's like, damn, I didn't know you could sing it. I kind of was like, oh, I didn't know either.
I didn't know either.
Okay. we're all just going to walk away from this right now because I don't know what to do at this point. It's going to go over here now. So the Metallica thing came in small doses, and then it was probably another year and a half later. That was my first concert. Arena show in Tallahassee, Florida.
The Black Album?
The Black Album.
Yeah.
And watching people headbang en masse for the first time because the opening song was For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Right.
And I'm just looking at everybody going, wait a minute, how did you know to do this? Did you get a note? Like, did you practice this? Because
did you get an email? Oh, wait, that doesn't exist yet.
Give me another 10 years. We'll get an email. Yeah. So, yeah, I was just fascinated. And then I saw a mosh pit and all that. I was hooked. So after that, of course, the Black Album, I was absolutely infatuated with that. And from there, I went backwards.
And it was everywhere.
It was everywhere. It was on the radio. They had several hits on the radio.
One was heard, and one was really an MTV thing for the most part. Like, you didn't really hear one on the radio.
Not all day long MTV.
No.
It was mostly at night.
But it was on quite a bit. And then when the Black Album came out, that's when they just exploded. And all of a sudden, you're hearing Metallica on the radio. Enter Sandman came out first.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just
the tour was huge. And that's where all the old school fans kind of, they look down on me. I'm one of those people, mass adopters. And I'm like, whatever, fuck off.
I will admit I was one of those.
Yeah.
Even when
scorned me.
Yeah, even when it was, because they made a big deal in all the metal magazines at the time. Again, this is pre-internet, so the only way you knew about things going on were magazines. And they made a big deal. I think Rip Magazine had an entire year of the lead up to through the recording of and to the lead up of the Black Album. And I read all of that. And for some reason, when Enter Sandman came out and all of a sudden it was just like the biggest thing in the world, I was one of those guys that was like, well, there goes my band.
Yep.
And
I can't listen to them because everybody's listening to them.
I purposely did not buy. So it came out, I believe, right before I went to college freshman year. It came out August, and I didn't buy it right away. By October, they had like 3 singles out. I'm like, I gotta get that fucking album.
Okay, fine. I'll be just like everybody else.
And I got it on cassette, and I listened to it on the way to class.
I had the CD. That was early adopter for that. I got a CD player in the car. So that was on constant rotation. Because by then I'd moved off campus a little bit, so I had to drive to class. And so every day driving to class, which I could have walked. It was that part. But
the production on the Black Album cannot be denied.
So that was perfect timing because in the world of music, metal had come full circle. Not full circle. It just come to the point where we'd gone through
it was
Sunset Strip, everything, and actual metal was king at that point.
Yeah.
And they put that album out at the right time. It was well done. Everything clicked for that to come out at the absolute pinnacle of metal.
Yeah, and now thrash metal purists will say that's when they stopped being a thrash band.
Yeah.
However, every pure thrash band that had any connection to Metallica, that was the year, or those were the years that thrash metal was at its peak.
Absolutely.
So every band benefited from Metallica, even if the purists say that's not a thrash album. I would say go back and listen to it now. It is a thrash album.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Oh, look at you.
Yes, that's what they did. They raised all these other little boats.
It really ties the room together.
It does. Good for you. You get a treat.
Thank you.
You get a treat for that. Yes, I got to reward you. So I'm on the other side of the coin in the sense that I bought that album and have not liked anything since.
Since then.
So I'm kind of like the early adopters where they stopped listening to them. I started and stopped with that one album.
Well, and we saw Metallica 2000
several times.
Yeah, but I remember in particular on Turner Field in the 2000s,
the baseball stadium,
when they were really struggling to figure out who their peers were because they had all the new metal bands with them, and we were like, what the fuck?
Was it Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, it was the other one that I really hate. What is that one?
New Kids on the Block?
No, the New Kids on the Metal Block. What's the name of that band? It's like one of the most popular bands in the world, and I can't.
Linkin Park. That's it.
I hate that band.
I will take Limp Bizkit over Linkin Park any day of the week.
Limp Bizkit, they're fine
Because
they're funny to me.
yeah, now they spoof themselves.
Yeah.
they have a sense of humor about it.
I liked them then.
In the day, I didn't like either one, but now I still
Why do you
can't
like
stand-
them? Put up those lighters. Let me see those lighters.
Anyway,
shit.
well, let's give a little history because this plays into what we're going to do today. Because
Kids.
Metallica was formed in LA in 1981. So you had James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and a host of other guys, including Dave Mustaine at one point.
Yeah.
And they relocated to San Francisco because they got rid of the first bass player they had, and they wanted to pursue this guy, Cliff Burton. He said, yeah, I'll join if you move to San Francisco. So they relocated from LA to San Francisco, became a Bay Area band with all these other great Bay Area thrash bands. It was kind of a new thing. And then by the time you get to where they were going to record their first album, they kicked Dave out because apparently Dave did too much drinking, drugging, and he was violent.
He subscribed to the Lemmy school of how to be in a band. Like,
Yeah.
do way more. Well, actually, Lemmy's problem was he did the wrong drugs.
I think Dave was just an asshole.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
I think Lemmy was not the asshole.
These guys
that
were all
Dave
drinking
was.
a lot and doing a lot of stuff. I think,
But when you're more of a dickhead
Yeah.
than everybody else is,
yeah.
that's bad.
So they basically let him go and send him packing
They
in
didn't-
New York. They
didn't
weren't
let-
even home.
They didn't let him go. They left him.
Yeah,
they sent
left
him on a bus.
They put him on a bus and said, get the fuck out. And then they got Exodus guitarist, so another Bay Area band. They got Exodus guitarist Kirk Hammett to fill the spot, and they recorded that first album, and thrash is born, along with Slayer and Anthrax and all these other bands that would also put out things in subsequent year or two. And so then by the time you get to 1986, this is where I get on board with their third album, Master of Puppets. It was the first album of theirs to go gold. So all of a sudden, they're not this underground thrash thing. All of a sudden, people are starting to pay attention to them. It established them as a headlining band, and so they start touring. And as of now, Master of Puppets is considered one of the greatest metal albums of all time. It's sold 8 million copies to date, which sounds like a lot, but they have other albums that have sold more than that. But still, Master of Puppets, to me, is probably the ultimate Metallica album.
Yeah.
Album number 3. Although Ride the Lightning is great too, Justice is good, but to me, nothing stands up to Master of Puppets. Now, while they were on tour with Master of Puppets in Sweden in September of '86, Cliff Burton was killed. And
Bus accident.
bus accident rolled over on
him.
And the whole thing is he had taken Kirk's bunk. They had drawn straws or something for who was going to take that bunk, and that was normally Kirk's bunk, and Cliff was there, so it could have been Kirk, which is crazy. But that could have ended the band because Cliff was a big part of the band, but they kept going. I remember, the reason I bring this up is Master of Puppets was out when I discovered them in November of '86. I remember reading about the whole Cliff being killed in Thrasher magazine. It was current news, and I found out about it in Thrasher magazine and was reading about it as I'm discovering them as well. So it was an interesting time to become a Metallica fan because I'm getting into a band that at that point in time wasn't a band.
Yeah.
Because the guy just died. So,
There was
you just thought,
a very
that's
real
probably
chance.
it.
Yeah, that could have dissolved the band.
Yeah. So, at that point I didn't know, but I was getting into them, really liked them, and thought, okay, well, they've got 3 albums. That's awesome. I'm good. They'll probably never put another one out, but that's all right. We'll do fine. But no, they went on, and they hired Flotsam and Jetsam bassist, who was an Arizona thrash band. They hired Jason Newsted, and then they released the Garage Days EP, which I got the day it came out on tape. It's called the 598 EP, and that's what I paid for it. Not anymore.
No.
It's still called that, but that's not what you pay for it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I bought that and thought it was really good, and that's where they introduced us to Diamond Head and all these bands that we didn't know that were either punk or new wave British heavy metal. And we've covered that on, like I said, on another episode. But they also released a VCR tape called Cliff 'Em All at that time. And I don't know if you remember this, but probably not because of when you came in, but Metallica were very vocal about not doing videos. So if you think about the 80s, it was all about the music videos, all about MTV.
That's where you made your money.
And that was the format that everybody used to propel them to stardom, but not Metallica. They didn't have videos. They didn't believe in doing videos. And so what we got was a VCR tape that they released of clips of Cliff Burton and the band kind of behind the scenes, as well as a bunch of live, poorly shot
It was just
footage.
Yeah, clips and footage,
Yeah.
documentary style footage.
And so that was like all we had from a video standpoint to look at to know what Metallica was like. At this point, when that came out, I hadn't seen them yet. So that was the only thing we had to look at. There were no videos to watch other than that. And then they release And Justice for All in 1988. And all of a sudden, by 1989, after being so vocal and making such a big deal about not doing videos, all of a sudden a video for One comes out, and it explodes. Like, it propelled them further. It did what videos did back then. So had they done videos the entire time, they might have been bigger earlier, but they did fine. But One kind of propelled them to bigger success. I remember my cousin was just like you. He saw the One video, and that's where, even though I had told him that Metallica were great, until he saw that video, he didn't get it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he got it. And that album, Justice, was Billboard Top 10. It was multi-platinum. That's where they really went to the next level. And then they get a Grammy nomination. The very first Best Hard Rock and Metal Performance Grammy ever. First one the Grammys have ever held. And they have Metallica play on stage, and Metallica's expecting to get that Grammy, and then they give it to
Jethro Tull.
Jethro Tull.
I remember that.
It was a big
Just
deal.
sitting there with your mouth open going, I'm sorry, what? What the?
And
wait.
that's when you realize, the Grammys are shit.
Yeah. They stopped being relevant right about 1990.
Yeah.
Whatever-
I won't be
year that
watching these
was.
anymore.
Yeah. Click.
Yeah, so they lost that, and that was a big stink. But, it was actually
They got tons
They got a lot of
press.
publicity.
Every radio show, morning show, news, everybody had stories about that. So, yeah, they got a ton of PR from that.
Yeah. Now, by the time I graduate high school, and I'll just say at my high school, because those were the years of, 89, 90, 91, those were like the years of thrash metal. And if you were at my high school and you said you were a metalhead, it better be thrash, and it better be Metallica, Megadeth, the big four, and plus others. If you were into hair metal, you were kind of considered a poser. And I was into both, plus I liked punk rock, so people didn't know what to do with me because I wore shirts for all the bands. I remember getting made fun of because I wore a Motley Crue shirt in middle school.
With shorts.
No, I didn't. I didn't have shorts on. They didn't allow those back then at our school. But
Your legs are too sexy.
But it was like giving me shit because it wasn't a Metallica shirt. It was a Motley Crue shirt. And I was like, really?
Like people that got in fist fights over Poison versus Motley Crue. Like, no. You can't be cool and listen to this song or that song.
Like all the dudes liked thrash metal, and Metallica were kings.
It was the common denominator, yes.
But the girls liked glam metal.
The power ballads especially.
Yeah, they liked the Cinderellas and the Bon Jovis and Poisons. And
they got makeup tips from them.
And I kind of liked hanging out with the girls too. So I liked all the bands. I like, if it was heavy, had guitar, I liked it. So anyway, that was just the way it was. But Metallica were like the gold standard.
Meanwhile, I was learning James Taylor because I thought the chicks would dig it.
Yeah, and at that point, I hadn't even gone backwards past 1980. So I didn't even know, other than Kiss. I didn't know. I can't just throw that out. I'm sorry. Kiss! No Kiss connection with Metallica.
Yeah, not at all.
But
zero.
I definitely loved my Kiss, even back then. But nothing else 70s. I hadn't gone that far back. Anyway, so 1991 comes. I graduate high school. I remember that my band frontman, we were putting on our final performance at Brandon Still's house. His parents let us throw a party at his house, and we played a show like right outside his pool. Super cool. All of our friends showed up, had a good time, and I remember that was the same week that this new album from Metallica was finally released, the Black Album. And again, I had heard the single Enter Sandman, and I had made the decision that they had sold out and that I was no longer a Metallica fan because they sold out to the man. Stupid. And like I said, 3 months later, I bought the tape and loved every song on it.
I'm done with them because some dude in Tallahassee, Florida named Robert decided to start liking them. I'm out.
Yes.
Fuck him.
Yeah, so I punished them for 3 months for selling out.
3 whole months.
Yep. The album went on to be number one. It's one of the best-selling albums of all time. It's a double diamond album. Unreal how many albums that is. And we're talking worldwide, number one everywhere. This thing was huge. And then they take 5 years. They tour this thing for years and years and years. You saw the tour. And they do this even now. Ever since then, it's like they will tour for a solid 3 years on a single album.
Because they can.
Because they keep selling out.
The tickets keep selling.
Yeah. So it's not until 5 years later that they reemerge with their hair cut off and eyeliner, and they're not playing metal. They're playing more like hard rock kind of groove metal.
Whatever it was. I don't know.
I mean, grunge had already come and almost gone by the time they put this next album out, and they're not grunge, but it's somewhere like adjacent.
And that was another reason I kind of lost some interest, because I got completely sidetracked by these Seattle bands that came along in about 91.
Yeah, I mean, Metallica were able to ride out the whole storm that killed a lot of bands.
Yep.
But at the same time, when they decided to come back, it was a completely different band. Like, it didn't sound like Metallica, but that didn't really keep them from topping the charts in 15 countries. Mm-hmm. They spent 4 consecutive weeks at number 1 in the U.S.
Well, plus a lot of those songs on that next album were radio friendly.
Exactly. The album was
like 3.5, 4 minutes. They could play them easily.
Yeah. Now, this album is not a double diamond album, but it is 5 times platinum in the U.S.
They did fine.
They did okay.
Yeah,
they did okay.
They're not
even though a lot of people were like, "Holy shit, what happened to Metallica?"
Me.
And then they put out Reload a year later, and you would think, because a lot of people shit on that album, I actually like Reload better than Load. That's just me. I remember seeing the Load tour, and they played Fuel, and I absolutely love that song. There's a reason I quoted it earlier. I love that song, and as soon as Reload came out, I was like, I like this even better. Now, they didn't do as well with Reload. It only went 4 times platinum in the U.S.
Sad. So sad.
They were losing money. And then they just kind of did a bunch of weird shit for the rest of the decade.
Because they could.
They had a symphony album. They had another covers, another garage album.
The symphony thing was very popular back then. They weren't the only band to do that.
No, I mean, they still were going platinum with these albums, so they were doing fine. And then in 2003... it was hard to stay on board. They took a weird turn. They put out this album called Saint Anger.
Oh, I hated that.
It's one of the worst productions. It's the same guy.
Garbage bag sounding bass drum.
The same guy that gave us the Black Album.
Yeah.
Produces this thing called Saint Anger, and the snare drum sounds like a bell or trash can lid.
That's what not the bass drum,
it sounds like a trash can lid. And the songs are just shit.
Yeah.
They're just half-ass songs, no guitar leads. Kirk Hammett doesn't play a single guitar lead on the whole thing. Jason Newsted says, "I'm out." He doesn't even record on it. He's out before they even start recording. So that's part of the reason. He didn't record on it. So if you've seen the movie Some Kind of Monster, you know what I'm talking about. It is like a glorious hurt, because you see Metallica in a light that you never really wanted to see this band. They look like the wussiest band in this movie about them recording this album, because...
Was that the one where they were in therapy?
They're in therapy the whole time, and it's like they have lost all connection to what made them Metallica to begin with, and you're just seeing like these middle-aged guys deal with life of being multi-millionaires and trying to figure out how to be like tough or try to get their... I don't know what they're trying to do.
Mojo back.
I don't know what they're trying to do, but...
as they were counting their billions of dollars.
If you haven't seen the movie, it's a must-watch. And it's hard to watch at some points. You're just like, holy shit, is this real? It's completely real. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a documentary that just will stick with you.
I'm not enjoying being in the room with you playing.
I don't understand who you are, okay? I realize now that I barely knew you before.
It's been a beast, and it's sucked a lot of me into it. From day one, it's been competitive.
I just feel so disrespected.
I spent a large amount of my time trying to downplay my ego and be an example to the other guys.
I was straight up with you.
I think it's stock. Which part of that is unclear to you?
What have you been doing? Picking at me all night.
Save up the tension. Tension produces results.
So I'll just give you a few things. So Jason leaves at the beginning of it. They're dealing with all this rock star bullshit excess. Like, they have become the thing that they never prescribed to be. They don't know how to fit in, because at that point in time, you've got nu metal and alternative. That's what rock and roll is.
Yeah, we've moved on past grunge and alternative, and we're firmly in that nu metal.
You're almost at the end of nu metal, but it's a big deal. And then you've got these really fragile egos of James and Lars. And you've got Kirk, he's just along for the ride. He didn't know what the fuck's going on. James's alcoholism, he's trying to get sober, he leaves. They start recording, and then they stop recording because he has to leave and go get help. And then he comes back, and he's got all these rules about he can only record at certain times, he has to be home for dinner and all this stuff. And then you've got this Cosby sweater wearing life coach he's their therapist, and he's in every writing session and recording session as they're making this album. and he is even
I forgot about that.
He is even contributing to the lyrics. The therapist wearing the Cosby sweater, and he's telling them to zone it. You got to zone it, guys. Zone it.
I forgot about that part.
Oh man, it's hard to watch, but at the same time, it's amazing. And then they also attempt to make amends with Mustaine in this thing, and that goes about as well as you think it would. And Bob Rock, he's producing this thing. He's so frustrated with the whole process. And then he starts to think that he's going to be the new bass player. He's the one that plays bass on the whole thing to begin with. Yeah. I think Trujillo comes over the top of it maybe at the end. I'm not sure about that. But I think it's Bob Rock playing bass. He even plays some gigs with him. Bob Rock is the bass player, which is just weird. But then at the end, you see they do all these tryouts for bass players, and Robert Trujillo gets the gig. Yeah, so at the end of it, they hand Robert Trujillo a case of money. It's $1 million. He's like, here you go. We want you to be in the band. Here's $1 million.
Signing bonus.
And he just like jumps on the table. He's going nuts, man. He can't believe it because he's been with Suicidal. He's been with Ozzy. He wasn't making that kind of money.
No.
And, it's just, it points out what a shit show that album was and why it was. It still sells double platinum in the U.S., and it went even bigger other places of the world. Other places of the world love that album. I think it sounds like shit. It's horrible. It's hard to be a Metallica fan when that comes out. Mm-hmm. And I didn't think I was going to continue with them. And then in 2008, they released Death Magnetic, and it's back to them trying to be a thrash band. And I actually loved that album. It was really good. I loved it so much that I somehow convinced my wife for our wedding anniversary that we should go see a show. She should go see a concert on our wedding anniversary night. And I was like, do you like Metallica? Knowing full well she didn't like Metallica.
Oh, you lied. You told her it was that Eric Church or that Bublé guy.
No. I said Metallica, and she's like, do I know them? So I was like, Nothing Else Matters. You know that song?
No, it's real pretty.
Oh, okay.
Real ballad.
I like that one.
We could dance to it.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
She hated it. Absolutely hated it, but it was a great show. Nonetheless, it was awesome.
Did you make her wear earplugs?
Yeah, I think Lamb of God opened, and that didn't go over so well.
That's not a good way to start.
No.
You don't really ease her into it with Lamb of God.
So I thought Metallica was back in 2008. I thought we had a good thing going.
And then the recession hit.
We got past. Well, that's true. It had already hit, but they took this other weird turn, and they released an album called Lulu with Lou Reed in 2011.
I've blocked that out of my memory.
Don't listen to it. You don't want to. I think it was the last thing Lou Reed did. And it sounds like he did it from his deathbed. I mean, it's just horrible. It is the worst thing they've ever touched. And I don't know, there's like 20-minute songs of them playing one riff with Lou Reed just
kind of riffs lyrically.
It's a tough listen, man. So 2 albums almost back-to-back that would really make most people just leave Metallica, and I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
But since then, they've released 2 more albums. They've been more metal, more thrash. So you had Hardwired and you had 72 Seasons. So that kind of brings us up to date with where Metallica are. All that being said, one of the most commercially successful bands of all time. They've sold more than 163 million albums worldwide. They've won 10 Grammy Awards, 26 nominations. They had 6 consecutive studio albums from the Black Album through Hardwired that debuted at number 1 in the U.S. The last one, 72 Seasons, did not. Mm-hmm. It hasn't sold nearly as well as the rest of the albums, which I thought was interesting, but it's a good album. But yeah, I mean, this band is just beyond iconic. So their influence, what we're doing today, it's easy to just play like a lot of mainstream bands that obviously loved Metallica, or you can hear a little bit of Metallica in them. I mean, I'm not going to play Megadeth's version of Ride the Lightning. We're not going to go, down that path. We're in Obscuria, so we're going to do this a little bit differently. I want to focus on the vibe of what Metallica stood for, what made them Metallica, their early years. So think first 3-4 albums. That's where I kind of want to zone in on. I'm going to zone it, guys.
Yeah.
And so we're going to play bands that were obviously inspired. They're newer thrash metal bands, which is more of an underground thing, again. But these are bands that were definitely inspired, probably brought up on Master of Puppets. So that's where we're going today.
Okay.
All right. So first up, after saying all that, this is a band that's not too obscure to the metal community, but I don't consider them a mainstream band, even though they have been nominated for a Grammy. The name of this band is Trivium. They're from Orlando, Florida. They were formed in 1999. Have you ever heard of Trivium?
No.
See, so kind of metalcore. They're known for being like a metalcore, really heavy. They've got some thrash. They got a little progressiveness to them as well. And they were kind of like a screamy metalcore band in their early years, which is not your thing, not really my thing. But the music's good. It's just the screaminess and the Cookie Monster vocals not really our thing. But when they put out their third album in 2006, is when I started to pay attention, because they shifted into a retro thrash thing for this album, and they dropped all the Cookie Monster stuff for the most part, and he just sang.
For those out there that don't know what Cookie Monster, what you're referring to, can you give an example?
Now give me a cookie.
Nailed it.
You can't understand a word they say.
Not a damn thing.
Until they say, give me a cookie.
Give me a cookie. I did it all for the cookie. The cookie.
So the singer-guitarist Matt Heffy has been compared to Papa Het quite a lot, and it's because of this record. Other records where he's screaming, not so much, because Het doesn't do that. But if you close your eyes and listen to this, you might be...
You too.
You might be hearing a little Papa Het here.
Okay.
But that's what it sounds like to me. They have 10 albums. I've seen them live. They're a good band, but really it's this third album and maybe the next two where they kind of leaned in on their Metallica past. And then after that, they went back to the metalcore thing. But good band. This, I would say, again, I'm going to play it for you, but I would say this is a nod to the Justice Black Album era Metallica.
Okay.
See what you think. Trivium with a song called Unrepentant from The Crusade, 2006.
insane madman.
If I remember correctly, Hetfield had a daughter that would come out on stage once in a while and sang a couple of tunes here or there. But if he had a son that sang, that could be plausible.
Right?
I could see the resemblance there.
Yeah, and obviously the music, you know, you had the thrash in there, but then they had these kind of more melodic parts as well, which is very Metallica.
Yeah. It came across more as power metal than thrash to me.
Totally, yeah.
It was a little too polished. I need some more grittiness to my thrash.
Well, I'm going to give you that.
Give me some grit.
I'm going to give you some of that.
Grits.
Grits. Go pick some grits off the grit tree.
It's ripe. It is the season, yes.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, again, not a super obscure band, Trivium. They do rather well. They tour headlining, so, bigger band, but I still felt the need to put them here because
they still fit.
It still fits. Now, the next band is a band that Aaron Camaro from Decibel Geek introduced me to on one of their Radio Sucks episodes earlier this year. So, Chris Sinzak, you're in here again for the second time. This is a band called Bloodstain.
I've cleaned up some of that.
Yes. Now, this band happens to... Oh, shit. Take off your horn helmet. Sorry, we can't do this. Yes. Yeah. There's a little headism. That was not in the song, so that's probably what...
We missed the
Yeah, we missed the yeah. Very Hetfield thing to do. Yes, this is a band from Sweden, a new wave of Swedish thrash metal band. Yes, we have another one.
Yeah.
Nuwastim.
Oh, I'm
that
sorry.
one doesn't...
What was that?
Nuwastim?
Nawab? That's
one...
new wave of Swedish...
thrash metal.
Yeah, that doesn't just roll off the tongue.
That one does not roll like others.
We'll just sound it out.
Yes. So they blend classic Bay Area thrash riffs with traditional heavy metal, and they have more of a modern production, which you would expect because they're a new band. But these are guys that are young enough that when they were born, Metallica were already well established and out of their thrash years.
It could have been their dads.
So
you never know.
So this band, they dug deep and they dig their homework for these kids here. So they formed this band in 2023. They were classmates attending high school in Stockholm. And they put this band Bloodstain together and have been going ever since. And, they have an EP out. They have a lot of singles out. Their debut album is coming out later this year. Okay. So, not quite established. They've got some stuff out there, but we haven't really seen what they sound like on a full length, but that's coming later. Yeah. I'm going to play from the EP. I think Aaron played on their show. He played the first single off the album, or maybe one of the singles. And, it had a very Metallica flavor to it. And they were saying the same thing, like, holy shit, this band sounds so much like a young Metallica. Mm-hmm. And so I went back and listened to their EP, and it's even rawer than
Metallica.
It's even more like Kill 'Em All.
Oh,
Metallica.
Okay, now we're talking. This
is the grit you were looking for.
About a 60 grit.
Here's Bloodstain with a song called Black Swan from I Am Death that came out in 2024.
All right, without saying any words, you already know what my favorite part of that entire song was.
Ding.
Ding. I need to write them a letter and just go, thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. That was just for me.
I hope that was one of their girlfriends. They're like, I want to do something.
Right, fine.
Okay,
Here.
hit the symbol when I point to you.
Yeah, just hit it. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Ding. And she went and told her it was the triangle dude that we had with us.
Yes,
Bailey. Bailey. Yeah, Bailey was our version of that. He was drunk and wanted to be part of the band so bad that he would stand there with a triangle and just wait.
Which I bought for him as a joke.
Yeah, we bought him, you bought him a triangle as a joke just to give him something to do because he was just energetic and enthusiastic and loved us.
He let us practice at his house.
In his basement, and he loved us, but he was just a ridiculous drunk. He was your friend.
Yeah. I worked with him.
Co-worker. I worked with him. A very functioning drunk. One of the more functionable drunks I've ever seen. So, anyway, that was their version of that guy.
Yeah, we gave it to him as a joke, and he took to it. He was, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, man. I'm going to practice. And he'd call me up in the middle of the night. Hey, man, I've been doing some angling.
I got some ideas. I got some notes.
And we even had him up on stage once.
We had him up on stage, yeah. That probably was a highlight of his life. I mean, he probably talked about that for years.
He had a picture of himself. He had this little catamaran, this tiny little boat, and he would take it out on the lake, and he'd sit out there with his triangle. He'd tell me he'd be practicing out there.
In the lake.
He'd play some Grateful Dead, and he'd be I'm angling to some Dead, man. I'm practicing. And I have a great picture of him that I blew up for him because at the time we were printers. And so I made this, I don't know, poster size 24 by whatever, a large print, and he put it up in his house. He was so proud of that. It's him sitting on that boat with his triangle.
Oh my God. If we had a copy of that, it would be hanging right behind you. I would put that on the wall.
I wish I had a copy of that.
That would be classic.
Yeah.
The angler. Yeah. Bailey
doing some angling.
God. Good times.
Anyway, back to the Swedish thrash metal.
I forgot about the song, but other than that, it's good.
I'm going to retract my statement where I said kill 'em all. I think this fits firmly in the Ride the Lightning to Master of Puppets era.
Yeah, Metallica. You were right. It does have that grittiness to it that the first song did not. And I like that.
Yeah, and his voice does not sound like Hetfield, but the music...
It sounded more Dave Mustaine than it did Hetfield,
exactly.
Which is bizarre listening to that with Metallica.
Yeah, but some of the riffs... And even the way they end the song is these guys must have just been spoon-fed Metallica as babies. I mean, they must have a shrine in their rehearsal space set up to Master of Puppets. They sound so spot on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I love it.
No judgment.
I love it. And it's them enough that it's not them, just doing Metallica, but you can tell where they get their inspiration, which I think is really cool. And it's the reason we do these shows.
I was going to say, what a coincidence, because that's what we're talking about
that's
today.
Exactly what we're talking about. Okay, let's talk about a band from London who's been in the underground metal scene for the last 6 years, and they have a really rabid fan base called The Pack. But if your band's name is Thrasher Wolf,
that fits.
That's what you're going to call your fans. Oh. So, we call our fans the InObscuriacs. I think that's what we landed on last. But I've been thinking, wouldn't it be cooler to call them InObscurinauts?
Obscurinauts.
Yeah.
We
can put the space vibe
tie it in with the space episodes.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. Let's run it past corporate.
Okay, we'll see what corporate thinks about that.
Yeah. We'll call it Tony.
So if you're
is Tony okay with that?
I don't know. We'll see.
Chairman's
if you're a current InObscuriac, let us know if you're okay with it.
You'll have to change your email.
Yeah. You're going to have to get a new shirt.
Yeah.
It'd be a whole new wardrobe.
Obscurinaut.com.
Obscurinauts.
Yeah.
I think I like it better.
I'll start a Facebook group.
Okay, good. Get on that.
Yeah.
But this band, Thrasher Wolf, no doubt where their allegiance is, they put it in their name. They can't not be a thrash band. Their name is Thrasher Wolf. Mm-hmm. You can't have another style of music. They do the same thing. They pay tribute to classic Bay Area and the German thrash bands, because we had our big four, but Germany had their big four as well at the same time. So you had bands like Creator.
They're very competitive.
Yeah, very competitive Germans. But so they kind of throw in, because they're European, they kind of throw some of that European flavor into what they do. But I still think they sound a lot like Metallica. There's some Slayer in there. There's some Creator into what they're doing. But again, you've got these younger guys. They've only been around for 6 years. Younger dudes who probably, when they were born, Metallica was already popular in a thing.
Well, they'd been popular, they sucked, and then they were popular again by these times.
Well, they go through, they go ups and downs with suckiness as far as people, what they think of them. But, that's Metallica, man. That's, if you're on the Metallica ride, it's a bumpy one.
It's a spectrum.
Exactly.
They're on the spectrum.
You could say that about Lars.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, speaking of, before we get into Thrasher Wolf.
Speaking of crazy people.
Speaking of Lars.
Oh.
I mean, talk about a guy. So in the 80s, he influenced so many bands to do the double kick. Like, he was the main driving force of that whole double kick thrash beat. People actually praised his drumming. And then as you get through the years, as Metallica gets more popular, all of a sudden you've got all these Lars haters who think that he's not a
horrible
good drummer.
He's terrible. Oh my God, I barely keep a beat.
But he played on all these thrash albums that everybody loves. So it's a really weird dichotomy of Lars, and I think it's just Lars's personality, because he became more of a dick as he got bigger and bigger. And
I mean, he made a lot of enemies in the late 90s.
Yeah, the 90s is really what did him in when he
the whole Napster thing.
did the whole Napster thing.
So yeah, he pissed off a lot of people at that point. So I think they were just
But people bagging on his drumming, I don't get it. Does he play his own style? Absolutely. He's not a school drummer. He's a guy that listened to Diamond Head, and that's how he learned how to play
You can't be
drums.
a fan of the first 4 albums and then all of a sudden say he's a crappy drummer.
Exactly right. You can't say
that's just
Master of
personality.
Puppets is the greatest metal album of all time, but the drummer sucks. No.
Yeah.
If your drummer sucks, your band sucks.
It's like Bill Cosby. Yeah, he raped a few women, but his early stuff was funny.
Do we have to go there? I don't think we need to go there. Let's not go there. No, edit that out.
It's no big deal. His early stuff was still fun.
Future Kevin, edit that out.
Go back in it. It's just a few women, I think, right?
What a creep.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to music.
Are you thirsty? You want a drink?
You want to be a Cosby kid?
Some Jello pudding.
Jello pudding pop.
I was so mad, I called Richard Pryor's house up and said, yo, Richard, Bill Cosby just called me up and told me I was too dirty. And Richard said, the next time motherfucker call, tell him I said, suck my dick. Have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. Jello pudding eating motherfucker.
Okay, so this band, Thrasher Wolf, 2 independent albums and some singles since 2020. They're all on Bandcamp. You can check it out. Now, this is absolutely early 80s, earliest Metallica. That's where this band is drawing from. So I'm going to play the song Shameless Loser, which I've been before. This is from the album Inside the Sickened Mind.
Is to cause disarray. Try as they might, I will not go away. Fingers are blackened from old cigarettes. Tenants is empty, I'll move on to cats. I'll use my hangout, casinos the best. Drink till it's dark to forget all my debts. I drink and I piss and I'll shut you away. go away. My only use is to cause disarray. Strive in my town will not go away. I'm no one. My head pounding as I come round. Damage done. I look forward to my next fix. There's no one. I'm being chased by my inner demons. Destruction. My life leads to impending destruction.
Off to Neverland.
So many little twists and turns in that song that are definitely influenced by Metallica.
Metallica definitely had the progginess that a lot of thrash bands did not.
Yeah.
And I think that kept me interested and it was just the right amount. It wasn't too over the top, but they had some twists and turns to some of the more epic songs, especially.
Yeah, especially when they got the Justice. Like Justice was probably the most proggy they got. But they started on Ride the Lightning.
It took you a journey. I mean, that was a journey and a trip in one song right there.
Yeah, the difference between Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, I mean, huge jump from one to the other. I mean, they established thrash with Kill 'Em All, but it's that kind of gritty street, just dirty, fast thrash. And then when they get to Ride the Lightning, it's almost like they expressed themselves through like progginess, but they were still that band. So it's like by the time you get to Master of Puppets, it's definitely next level. And then Justice, they really ratchet up the proggy stuff. But they never went over the top to where that they became Dream Theater.
Right. And I think that's where I had a hard time.
They definitely influenced Dream Theater.
Getting into Dream Theater. I liked one or two songs, but after a while, you're like, this is wearing me out. I can't keep up with it. I don't know where we are in the song, but Metallica had a flow to it, and Fade to Black was one of my favorite songs early on. This was after the Black Album. I got into that, and it was about 91. I got kicked out of a fraternity in college. I've told
How about that?
Yeah, I've told that story. And looking back, it's like, That's our big surprise, Robert. Back then, I was surprised. I was like, what? I don't fit in? What are you kidding me with a bunch of frat dudes? Looking back, it's damn obvious. No, I did not fit in, but I was kind of...
I'm surprised you got in.
I hate to admit this. Oh my God. I don't think I've ever actually said these words.
Oh.
I think my sister might have spoken up for me.
Oh, okay.
She was older, but she was still there because she was getting her master's degree. So she was still around, and she had been a big shot in her sorority right down the street. And as much as I hate to admit that, I think she might have made a phone call. I'll have to ask her if she really did. She won't admit it, but
my sister was also in a sorority.
Yeah.
She was a senior when I was a freshman in college.
Yeah, kind of a little bit different, but about the same. Yeah.
And she was like, "Do you want to any help with the fraternity? Do you want to pledge?" Because I can. It's like, no.
Yeah,
that will not be happening.
I should have said that. This is before I kind of thought I'm going to do my own thing. Back then, I was still thinking I want to do what everybody's doing.
Yeah. Do you see my long hair? Do you see me wearing black every day? That's not going to happen.
I had already cut off my mullet at that point, so I had short hair. But yeah, so anyway, after that, there was about a 6-month period. I was just listless. I didn't know what I was supposed to do after that, and in the mornings before class,
you were supposed to rock.
I was supposed to rock. I had an apartment with the worst god-awful shag carpet that you didn't want to touch. Like, we wore shoes all the time because you didn't want to touch it even in socks.
Yeah.
It was that bad. And I had a crappy couch that we found on the side of the road and a beanbag.
As one did back then.
And I would sit in the beanbag with my headphones and I would listen to Fade to Black. And it would start off slow, and I was just depressed, and it was me. And by the end of that song, fuck yeah, I'm ready to go. Out the door, going to class, going to learn this stuff. I'm like, all these guys are going to work for me someday. Kind of turned out true, but just, yeah. So it was my motivation for almost 6 months. It was a routine for me to start off the day listening, or if I had to go to class later, that it would just get me motivated to get out the door. So that also became a very special part of my connection with Metallica, was a therapy song. Mm-hmm. And still to this day, it's kind of like Comfortably Numb, where I wait till kind of a special occasion where I have the time.
You
to
don't listen to it on the normal.
No, I don't just in a mix. It just pops up in a mix. I'll skip it. But if I specifically want to listen to that song right now, and I have the time to really focus on it, God, I love that still.
Well, listening to this makes me want to listen to Ride the Lightning all the way through. So I think later this week I will throw Ride the Lightning on.
I'll do it too.
Another album I have not listened to in, call it 7 years.
I've heard the hits off of it, but not started start to finish.
Yeah. This band, Thrasher Wolf, that we just played, the reason I wanted to bring up Lars's drumming beforehand is the drummer in this band, if you were paying attention, the drums were not like your typical thrash drums. This guy was not just laying into the double kick, fast thrash beat, almost blast beat, but not. He was playing with the melody, which is exactly what Lars does. So Lars, that's why a lot of people don't like his drumming, is because he plays around what the song's doing. And Keith Moon had done the same thing before him. So it's this different style of drumming.
Me not being a drummer, I have no idea what you're talking about. But now that you said that, I'm going to
listen again.
I'm going to be listening for that.
It's like he'll modify the beat to go with the guitar rhythm or what the vocals are doing, versus playing a straight beat.
All right. Well, like I said, now I'm going to listen with intent.
Okay. All right. So that band's from London. Here is another English band that we're going to play next. And this is a band that we played on our very first Metal Thrashing Mad episode. It's a band called Evil.
Oh,
and I love this band.
So evil.
Evil. You're more than evil.
Is it Evile?
It is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I love this band.
You have to put your pinky up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so evil.
So they are part of the resurgence of thrash bands in the last 10 to 15 years with bands like Municipal Waste, Havoc, Warbringer, Hazard. We've played a lot of these bands as well on our thrash episodes. But this band began as a metal cover band in 1999, and then they eventually got to writing originals by 2004. So I'm assuming they probably had some Metallica in their set early on.
Those were the $20 songs.
Exactly.
You wanted them to play.
Hey man, play one. Oh, that's going to cost you,
That's
mate.
$32.
Yeah, well, pounds for them. But,
Pounds, yeah.
So they toured early on with Exodus. They started playing the festival scene in the UK and Europe, and they did more touring with Machine Head and Megadeth and Overkill and Creator. So they've been on tour with all the bands that were their inspiration for becoming a band. So it's kind of come full circle for them. They have 6 albums out from 2007 to 2023. However, their first singer guitarist is no longer with them now. So I think the last 2 or 3 albums is with a different singer. But the first singer worshipped at the altar of Papa Het, and you're going to hear it here. I mean, his voice. This guy, if Hetfield ever damaged his voice and they needed somebody to fill in, I would go to this guy.
He's on speed dial.
Exactly. So see what you think. But here's some Evil from their album Skull that came out in 2013. This is Head of the Demon.
Yes, that guy needs to be on speed dial for sure. That's
Don't Tread on Me.
Specifically, long-haired Hetfield, but Black Album.
That is so Black Album.
Later long hair,
Yeah.
but not short hair Hetfield.
Yeah,
And I think even more like for Don't Tread on Me.
Don't Tread on Me.
Don't Tread on Me. Oh my God, there's another Metallica story. So that would be about 91 now. I had moved in with my cousin Frank, and I was learning how to play Don't Tread on Me, but they had this guitar intro that I loved. It was dun 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 dun, real staccato, and I was playing that. And
He's like, you know what that is?
Yeah, and I came downstairs, and he's like, "Why are you playing show tunes?" I'm like, "What? That was Metallica." He's like, "No, that was like a Broadway whatever." I'm like arguing with him. Finally, he's like, "That's West Side Story,
Exactly
you idiot." Right. And I'm like. And I think we went and found it because I didn't believe him. I thought he was just messing with me.
Yep.
I was like, son of a bitch.
Sure is.
I was playing show tunes. I thought it was badass, play Metallica.
And the funny thing is, they weren't the first heavy band to do it because Alice Cooper had also done it in the 70s.
The same intro?
He took the Jets song and made it into an Alice Cooper song.
Oh, my God. I wonder if they were ripping him
you're
off.
Red Jet, you're Red Jet.
So, yes, I have lots of things to apologize for to my cousin Frank for living with me all those years. That was one of the things, was having to listen to me play show tunes.
Don't tread on me.
Don't tread on me. Poorly. Very poorly, I'm sure.
Yeah, the Evil nailed Black Album.
Yeah,
Metallica.
that was perfect.
Perfect. Love it. And that dude's voice, he's no longer with the band, but the first 3 albums, you can hear him.
Rest in peace.
Well, he's around. I don't think he died.
Well, he's not as busy now. He's not in the band. He can rest easy now.
All right, I'm going to play another band that's, could be questionable on the obscure scale. They might be at the higher end of the obscurity scale. This is a band from the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yes, they got that.
They got that going for them. They formed in 1992 out of the ashes of a band called Violence. That was a Bay Area band that were there with Death Angel, with Metallica. They were sort of that second wave of thrash after Metallica and those bands exploded. And the guitarist Rob Flynn didn't see Violence going where he wanted because he sees Metallica and the Big Four getting bigger and bigger, and he doesn't see Violence being able to make that step. So he creates a new band in 1992 called Machine Head. And again, not really obscure, but I think it works in the context of what we're doing because he wanted to take Machine Head and explore groove metal. He wanted to explore beyond the thrash that Violence were doing and get more into the 90s thing that was happening with Pantera and, even Metallica as they were steering away from the traditional thrash. And so that's what Machine Head did. And then by the end of the 90s, Machine Head had gone a little too far into nu metal phase and kind of changed their sound a little bit to where it was, to me, not nearly as good as when they started. But then you get to the early 2000s, and they had 5 albums out. They, like I said, dabbled in everything from groove to nu metal, but then they wanted to really put out an album that defined Machine Head as Machine Head, and they put out this album in 2007 called The Blackening. And I think what he was trying to do was to make a statement like the Black Album. This album's called The Blackening. Yeah, there's some little similarities there, but to me, this is what Metallica should have done when they were recording Saint Anger. So if they had been Metallica and recorded Saint Anger at that point in time in the early 2000s with their heads on straight as Metallica, I think this is what it would have sounded like. So that's why I'm putting Machine Head here, because I think Machine Head captures exactly what that early 2000s, mid-2000s sound would have been had Metallica been able to keep it together. So I'm going to give you a song called Slanderous from The Blackening, Machine Head.
Did you accidentally mix in a little 9 Inch Nails there towards the end?
No.
I hate myself today.
Very Rob Flynn.
Who?
That's the guy singing it.
Oh, okay.
It's very Machine
I was
Head.
thinking of 9 Inch Nails. I'm like, I don't remember them being in that night.
Very Machine Head.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, I liked everything. The vocals didn't really do it for me. I prefer more singing in my spoken word. There's less spoken word in that.
Yeah. Rob Flynn definitely has his own style of, call it singing.
But theorizing that kind of song definitely would have worked better at that time and place.
If Metallica would have gotten that sort of energy into Saint Anger, which
I might
that would have made a whole lot more
it.
sense with an album called Saint Anger.
God, I remember listening to that like instantly, like within 15 seconds going, oh, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, the album could have been
it could have been.
It could have been that, but
it wasn't.
This was a big deal for this band, for Machine Head. It's their highest charting album that they ever had. It's kind of very highly regarded in the metal community as their masterpiece. So they achieved what they were trying to do with it. And what they did was bring back the thrash that they originally had and mix it in with what was happening in 2000. Again, I think that's what Metallica was trying to do with Saint Anger. They just failed.
Missed it completely. Wasn't a great time. The early 2000s.
No, not for them.
I consider it the doldrums. Musically, it was just the doldrums. Like we had our music, you and I, and I focused on that, and I loved that. And then after the band fizzled in 2004-ish, then I don't remember much from music. I think I just tuned everything out.
Right.
And then towards the end of that decade, started picking up kind of indie rock, alternative stuff again, and dive into that. So yeah,
everything was kind of playing out.
I was just tired of the Limp Bizkit rap metal bullshit, all that. I hated all of it, and it permeated everything because everybody tried to jump on that bandwagon. Hence Metallica.
Right.
Everybody wanted a piece of that.
Yeah. There's a reason they took out all those bands on tour with them that we had to suffer through to get to Metallica.
We should have just stayed in the parking lot.
I think we did for a while, and then
like, man, might as well
some point we had to go in and get beers.
Yeah, exactly.
We ran out.
It's true. We didn't prepare. It was our fault. It really was our fault.
Yes, it's our own mistake.
Yeah.
Okay, so up next is a new metal band. No, I'm just kidding. Up next.
And I got to go.
A band from Norway that formed in 2009.
All the way from Norway.
Lars is from Denmark.
Neighbors. They're neighbors.
Scandinavian neighbors. So I think Scandinavian metal people, I think they have a certain affinity for Metallica because, they got their little guy. Little guy who was, he made good in an American
He's
band.
very elf-like.
Yeah, he's the little guy.
If he had pointy ears, he would look like one of my uncles. The Scottish side of my family, the Laird side, they all look like
Lars?
gnomes. But older with pudgy, bald, and ears that stick out like elves.
Yeah.
And they really do look like that. They all have red noses.
Maybe they're part Scandinavian.
No, just Scottish. They're all moonshine. This is the moonshiner.
The Vikings took over the Scots at some point. So
I wish they had some more of that because they would have been like 5'9". They were all about 5'5" and 5'6".
Well, Lars is a little guy. So
yeah, he fits in. Could be related.
So this band, unlike a lot of the retro thrash bands that have evolved over the last couple of years into something we call pizza thrash. We've talked about pizza thrash. This band are not that.
Okay.
This band, instead of going for the pizza party theme crossover.
Meat lovers.
Yeah, the meat lovers. This band, they want to go to the more technical side of what thrash metal was. So more the Megadeth side of the spectrum than the party side. I don't really see Megadeth as a party band. So that's kind of where this band, they're called, it's either Tantara or Tantara. I don't know.
Well, I'd say Tantara because otherwise it's Pantara.
Check out the big brain on
Robert.
You're a smart motherfucker. That's right.
Good point. So we're going to say Tantara. Okay. So this band, they kind of take all of the time signature shifts, the dual guitar harmonies,
11/12,
relentless rhythm. And so maybe more aligned musically with Megadeth and Metallica from a style standpoint, but there's no denial that what I'm about to play from their debut album has a very heavy Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets kind of feel and vibe to it. So that's why I'm playing this band. They recorded in Copenhagen with legendary producer Flemming Rasmussen. He was the producer for Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets.
That's where the name comes from, yes.
So, yeah.
Old Flem.
So, good old Flemming. he puts his touch on this. I think you'll hear, again, you'll hear the Metallica isms because you got the guy at the board that did it. So they got darker with their subsequent releases, but this first one, which was called Based on Evil, that came out in 2012, definitely Metallica feels throughout it. Here's Tantara. I can't remember. What did we say? Tantara.
Let's go with that.
Okay. Human Mutation. It's a happy song.
Love song. Well, that reminds me that I forgot to tell you last week I accidentally over-caffeinated myself. And that's what it sounded like in my head.
In your head?
For about an hour. I was like gritting my teeth. I made a cup of coffee and went out running errands. I was feeling kind of sluggish. I don't think I slept well and thought, well, let me stop and get an iced coffee, a little treat. And I don't know why. I had a shot in it, a shot of espresso. And it was way too good. I drank it a little too fast, didn't regulate it. And
you said, yeah.
By the time I got home, it was, I kind of stood up and was like, yeah. Oh, shit. No, I'm by myself and over-caffeinated. What am I going to do? Just run around the house, go up and down the steps? And yeah, I think I cleaned the kitchen a couple of times. But yeah, that's what I think of it. Now I feel
this was the audible version of what was going on.
Yeah, now I feel agitated right now after just listening to that. I'm like, oh God, it's happening again. But yeah, that probably is a little too much on the blast beat and double kick for me. That's a little past what I normally would like to have. So they were kind of showing up Metallica instead of showing
like I said,
influence of Metallica.
It definitely is technically more Megadeth, more of the Mustaine influence on Metallica, which you got in Kill 'Em All, but then he took it further. So I would say this is definitely between this first 3 albums for me. But there was a couple of points in this song where it's just, I'm sorry, but it's just a direct lift from some Metallica songs, especially at the end.
Yeah.
And, you got the man, Fleming. He's producing it. He's probably like, hey, I've got a great idea.
Oh, you know what?
This worked before.
And genuinely, he might have been like, oh, this is a great idea, forgetting that, hey, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Yeah, by then you're like, did I do that back then? Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
What's my name?
Yeah.
I don't know how old Fleming is, but he's got to be
up there.
Up there now.
Yeah, at least he's still working.
Yeah, exactly.
Being a productive member of society, unlike me.
All right, I have one more for you. This is a group from Portugal, formed in 2015, and they are absolutely considered pizza thrash. So I'm going to give you a nice short song that pays homage to the early Kill 'Em All years of Metallica, perhaps when Mustaine was still in the band. That's kind of what Pizza Thrash is. It's based on that early 80s sound, and this hits all the sweet spots. If you go back and listen to Kill 'Em All, and then you listen to this song, you're like, yep, they check those boxes. It's very good. The band's called Thrash Wall. Again, they can't be anything else than what they are. And
Wall of Death.
They've got the skeletons on their covers, giving the middle finger with the, the Pizza Thrash looking band is what they are.
Checks all the boxes.
Checks all the boxes. So very much an 80s Bay Area / crossover type of band that came out in 2020. So only one album so far, but again, this hits the mark for the early days of Metallica, the sound that started the whole thing. So here you go. This is called War Outside the Wall from Thrash Wall.
Made my eyes go cross. The hell?
Definitely caffeinated thrash.
Yeah, that's methanated thrash. Very methanated.
Yeah. There was a band in the Bay Area scene that was actually called caffeine metal. They were called Dark Angel. We'll have to play them at some point, but they were actually considered caffeine thrash.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that one. I talked about being caffeinated, and yeah, that went one more. Definitely one more than the caffeinated.
But definitely that was the Kill 'Em All sound.
That was faster than Kill 'Em All.
Yeah,
there was more drums in that than Lars has ever played.
They did ratchet it up. They were playing the thrash beat, and then when they went to the vocals, it's like, oh, we're going to make it even faster.
Yeah. Instead of laying out, letting the vocals have a little space there. No.
We're just gonna
fuck you. I'm taking over.
Yeah. So
that drummer did not like the singer.
That drummer is on something.
On something, yes. Ours was on ephedrine. Yeah.
It happens.
Diet drugs.
All right. Well, that's what I got for you. I think I hit the mark. I mean, some of these go beyond Metallica for sure, but I think the inspiration, they were definitely all in the shadow of Metallica. Agree or disagree?
All in favor? Motion passes.
Okay, good.
Here endeth the lesson.
Yeah, we agree.
All right. Well, good.
Deal? 2 ears up.
Okay.
Yeah, he agrees.
Puts his horns up.
Yeah, he's got his ear horns up.
All right. Well, that's what I got for you this week. Anything else to tell the people before we get up out of here?
Not a damn thing. I got the rest of the day to do
fuck all.
But yeah, I think that's it. That's on my agenda.
Yeah, let me check my schedule real quick.
All.
Yep, fuck all's next.
That's it.
No, actually, I have to go get in the car.
Get in the car and do your dad duties.
Got to do some dad duties.
Do some driving, dad driving.
Yep.
Picking up people, dropping off people.
That's what I do.
That's what you do.
I'm Uber. Uber dad.
You really are Uber dad.
Yeah. I wish I just got paid for it. Maybe I should just go in and just admit that I am an Uber driver and just do this.
Tax break. Like, yeah, I don't make any income from it, but that's all I do all day.
Yeah, if you go to your app and type in free Uber or Uber dad, I'll come up.
Uber.
All right, well, until next time, people.
See ya later.
Somewhere in the city, look at my brain like a bone on titty. Oh.